Hello and welcome to Pinto in Portugal. All right, today's episode, very important for anyone coming to Portugal. When you ship, because this is today's story. Today's story is how Vanessa tried to be very, very prepared, right? So when I came back on June 17th and I knew I had until the end of July to move, I started the process, right? So I started all my paperwork, got my NIF, which is kind of your social security number in Portugal. Then I did all of my other paperwork. I was able to set up utilities, from the States. And so I used a company called My Baggage. And you'll see them because they're everywhere on IG and they're everywhere telling you how good of a service they are. These people, do not use them. Do not use My Baggage, and let me tell you why. They're a third-party carrier. They're using DHL. DHL, solid. Had I known this, I would have gone straight through DHL, but I thought that would be too complex for me to figure out. So I essentially hired this company that had really good reviews, actually, to do this for me, or at least explain. So it was an adventure. It was 21 boxes in 2 deliveries. That was my fault. So got the first 5. That was beyond exciting. And what held that up, just so you know, if you're doing customs forms specifically for shipping, if there is anything that you have purchased brand new, you need to include the invoice with your customs. I had a brand new cat treat and a brand new cat litter box that I had shipped over from the States because my cat is extraordinarily large. And so it's a complex shipment. Anyhow, so I had to pay the taxes on that. What this company neglected to tell me is that you cannot put any medication in your boxes or luggage, right? So this was one of the only times in my life that I was completely 100% honest, because I was shipping items to another country and I absolutely did not want to get in trouble or have anyone think that I was doing something I should not be doing, right? Get out here for a minute. So I listed, it was Benadryl. Let me put on my sunglasses. It was Benadryl. It was Tylenol. Because I don't even do anything interesting these days, folks. It was my birth control and what else? Nasal spray for allergies, Allegra. Things that I would never in a million years, right? So all of a sudden I get this call from customs, right? And they're like, yeah, so it's totally illegal to import medication into Portugal. We're gonna have to ship all your shit back, or we're gonna have to destroy it, right? That was the first one. That's when I collapsed in tears. And basically, because it's funny, for as much as those clothes and shoes and all the things that you don't even realize how much you love, it was like I went despondent that day. So thank God my landlady is an attorney. Thank God they're very patient. And so what I did is I was like, okay, so first of all, I threw myself on their mercy and I was like, hey, listen, I was honest. That's why I put that on those forms. I said, had I known in any capacity that this was not allowed, believe me when I tell you I wouldn't have done it, right? And so the first people, the first day, oh my God, they scared the shit out of me. They were just like, yeah, we're gonna have to send it back to the States. It's gonna have to go all the way back to the States. My house is still filled with echoes because we're still filling it. This is one of the rooms. So at this point, I've lost all humanity. I hadn't left my house in a couple days because here you don't just get packages. You have to be home when a package is coming. So with Amazon, with everything, Amazon Spain has worked out for me in ways that have been great. And it's because Espino is all done by number. It is exceptionally logical. You do not get lost here. This is part of the reason that I chose to live here. I have no sense of direction. So now they're like, well, here's what we can do. You're going to need to contact Informed, and they're going to need to give you a piece of paper, and you're going to have to provide prescriptions from your doctor. And you're just like, what? So then you call Informed, right? So when this happens to you and they tell you to call Informed, this is the video that you remember, because this is what the woman said. my dear, the form does not exist. We know they tell people this, and we have to tell them each time there is no form because it's illegal to ship medication into Portugal. So my dear, your issue is between you and customs, and they hold the fate of your possessions. And then she hung up the phone. I was like, oh my God, right? Because I mean, mainly this is my dead father's stuff, right? This is his stuff that I've had for years, things that I've had since I was a child, things that like there's no value to anyone else but you. It's that sentimental value you can't replace it. It's not replaceable. So now, as I said, completely hysterical. Now they've asked me to go down to the airport, and I realized that was just a fucking ploy. So I went down there, cried in public. That was a terrible day. Came back, and at this point, I was like, there's nothing you can do. It's done. There's nothing you can do, Vanessa. You're either gonna get them or you're not, right? So what's interesting is out of the 5 boxes that I did get, thank God, I had my paints in there. Thank fucking God. The painting soothes me more than any medication. When I can sit and just paint for a few hours, my mind will come back and I'll get out of that crazy place. So as I'm painting and calling, finally yesterday, well, Miss Pinto, we may be in luck. It seems after all that, I think they went through every box to be honest, which is fine. 60, fucking have at it. There's nothing in there. I think they went through it and saw it wasn't narcotics or opiates or weapons or whatever the fuck it could be. So if you are moving to Portugal and you are shipping boxes and luggage, do not use my baggage under any circumstances. So when everything started, because this is what they tell you at my baggage. Yes, we will send you the labels and we'll handle the pickup and delivery. And just so you know, customs may like take a couple days, but shouldn't be too bad. That's what they tell you. Yeah. So I literally spent days on the phone with DHL. Had there been no DHL, my boxes would have ended up in the ether, and these people don't care. They only respond to you via email. They will not, unless you call them. If you call them, but they will not call you back for any reason. They will only email. And essentially they were like, because I was like, how have you done your part of the service? And he's like, well, your boxes are in Portugal, aren't you? And I said, DHL did that. Well, we made sure. These motherfuckers. So do not use them because 1, they don't give a shit about the customer. They don't. And I know that in Europe, it's not even that the customer's right. It's the fact that they should have absolutely told me just how difficult customs was, and they should have reiterated everything that could not go into those boxes. I had to end up looking because, again, couldn't mail any of my paints. I had paints in a box until I realized no liquids of any kind, no medicines, but they don't tell you, right? And then later they're like, well, there's a 25-page contract, and we do go into it on page. Well, 1, someone who's taken contracts, you can't hide shit. You can't make it that little so that people don't see. That's not a contract, and that's acting in bad faith. So, as of today, I paid for my 16 boxes, and it doesn't matter how much it costs because those boxes are my life. But this is yet again another little lesson. The next video will be on why I'm not doing a D7 visa, but still able to stay in the country. All right, folks, talk to you later.